How is it going, Retro people? My name is Brad, this is Retro Style Spotlight, and this is your news, notes, history, and retro games to play for the week of September 13th, 2016. Last week's tutorial was all about RetroArch and its info files that you may not have realized were there. Tons of information is kept in these files, like file extension and BIOS requirements. So if you want to know how to parse the information in their info files and try to learn about each core, then check out the tutorial link below. In ROM hacking and translation news, Star Cruiser is a newly English translated game for the Sega Mega Drive, or now the Sega Genesis. The game is truly a sight to behold, more or less lost to history as it was only ever out in Japan very early on. And it was still rather obscure even then. A cross between Phantasy Star, Elite, and of all things, Star Fox. It was later ported to the NEC PC-88, PC-98, the Sharp X1, and the Sharp X68000 between roughly 1988 and 1990. It was still planned to get a release in North America by Namco in 1994 under a new name, but it was cancelled and never heard from again. 30 planets, 4 solar systems, and an entire world ahead of its time to explore. This RPG looks amazing. The IPS patch is available, and a link to my favorite fan translation aggregate website, romhacking.net, will be in the description below. The patch needs a bit more of updating and polishing, but the beta is available and ready to rock if you are curious. Neo Geo is an interesting arcade company, and in the 90s they tried to release home console versions of their games to their own console that was the closest possible to the arcade ports, in some cases being the exact same game. The Neo Geo AES was and still is extremely expensive to purchase for though. Games went for at least $200 to $300 in the 90s and now can go up to several thousand. You can collect Neo Geo MVS arcade boards for a lot cheaper, find or restore a Neo Geo multi-arcade cab, and be able to plug and play several games for potentially a lot cheaper, but then this requires an arcade cabinet or a heavy and specialized tabletop arcade cab or a personal solution that you can create yourself. Either choice has some pros and cons, and money being at the root of it all. So what's a retro game player to do? Over at Arcade Projects, a user by the name of Darksoft has created an AES and MVS flash cartridge. The flash cart will be specific to the AES or the MVS and will run about $400 each without a plastic shell. While the price is a bit more significant compared to other flash carts, it's still a lot cheaper and a lot smaller than purchasing an entire systems collection. Personally, I still love to collect, but I try to go for the nostalgic and favorite games. A flash cart opens up the possibility to play more that you never got the chance to play in the past, or play games that you've never even heard of. Nintendo 64 is one of the most nostalgic consoles for me, and if you want to know why, then I would actually point everyone to my top 25 Nintendo games playlist. I go over each game and my complete nostalgia for Nintendo, and specifically Nintendo 64 being the first console purchased for me. And I bring this up to heighten the point of my excitement for this story. An unreleased Nintendo 64 game has been found. Called Rev Limit, this racing game was marketed early on in the N64's lifecycle and seemed to be extremely promising. The developer Seta reworked the game a few times and was planned to be a launch title for the 64DD add-on system, which never got released here in North America. Seta ran into some financial troubles though in the 90s, and the game is seemingly lost to the ether. A Japanese YouTuber by the name of Retro Game TV got the cart from a Yahoo auction and shared the game on Twitter. The cart came with an N64 developer console in an elongated cart and is unmarked save for the sticker, possibly denoting its internal production code and the card size. There are a few conspiracy theories surrounding this game, like the date on the title screen being 1999, a year after it was rumored to have been cancelled. Originally, when I wrote this segment, there was no footage of the game available, but when I went to go edit the footage, video appeared from Retro Game TV. However, the game has not been dumped yet as far as I can tell. I do love when games like this can live somehow in the age of the internet, emulation, ROM patching, and flash carts. This simply could not have been realistic 16 years ago. This month in 1996, Crash Bandicoot was released for the then brand new Sony PlayStation console and became their flagship mascot. Crash Bandicoot is a platforming game developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation. It was originally released for the PlayStation on September 9th, 1996, was re-released as a downloadable game on the PlayStation Network, and its remastered version is scheduled to be released for the PlayStation 4 in 2017. Crash Bandicoot is the first installment in the Crash Bandicoot series, chronicling the creation of the title character at the hands of the series antagonist Dr. Neo Cortex and his henchman Dr. Nitrous Brio. Crash Bandicoot is a bandicoot who has been mutated by an invention called the Evolvo Ray. The main antagonist is Dr. Neo Cortex, a mad scientist who is often ridiculed by the scientific community for his outlandish theories and is now motivated to prove his tormentors wrong by creating a mutated army of animals to conquer the world. Cortex's henchman is Dr. Nitrous Brio, the insecure creator of the Evolvo Ray. The game's story follows Crash's effort to stop Brio and Cortex's plans for world domination. Crash's love interest is Tawna, a female bandicoot who is also affected by the Evolvo Ray. Helping Crash in his journey is an ancient witch doctor spirit by the name of Aku Aku, who has scattered masks of himself throughout the islands to grant Crash special invincibility powers. Crash Bandicoot received generally positive reviews from critics who praised the game's graphics and unique visual style, but criticized its controls and noted the game's lack of innovation as a platform game. The game would later go on to become one of the best-selling PlayStation video games. As of November 2003, Crash Bandicoot has sold over 6.8 million units worldwide, making it one of the best-selling PlayStation video games of all time. The game's success led to its inclusion for the Sony Greatest Hits line of games. Crash Bandicoot was also the first non-Japanese game to receive a gold prize in Japan for sales of over 500,000 units. So that was Retro Style Spotlight for the week of September 13th, 2016. All the relevant links to everything you heard in this edition of RSS will be in the description below. Remember, you can sign up for a Launchbox forum account to talk with us over there. If Launchbox has given you a beautiful library of games, then why not purchase a premium license of Launchbox for $20 to access Big Box, which is a controller and couch-oriented version of Launchbox. We also have our Launchbox games database now available for users to contribute to. If you have a few favorite games that are lacking in metadata or media, head on over to the games page on the database and make your desired edits or add the games yourself. Jason, Kirsten, and I have a lot planned for our community, so if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, we're doing a tutorial video every Friday, live developer sessions, Launchbox news, Q&As, and a ton more content in the future. Let us know what you think of RSS and any feedback you may have on it. My name is Brad, the link to my channel is below, and remember, Fixing Geeks, to play more games, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day!